What was your life like before coming to Branch 15?
My life was very chaotic. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol and everything that came along with that.
My life was a utter mess. I was in a very ugly domestic violence relationship. The way I dealt with it was to do drugs. Totally unstable. Just up in the air.
My life was like a train wreck. I destroyed everything. I got clubbed, burned a lot of bridges.
It was pretty rough, pretty chaotic. I was actually on the streets and I went to prison.
I was on the streets. I was a drunk. It was day in, day out drinking. And I was an IV drug user for 21 years.
My life was terrible. Complete chaos, shambles. I was in treatment, not knowing if my next step was prison or death or worse.
It was a mess. It was chaotic, hectic, mess, weighed down.
How did you hear about Branch 15? I was at a in-house facility and there was this class every Saturday morning and I took it just for fun, just for something to do, so I wasn't sitting idle. Met Tammy, fell in love with her first and fell in love with her story, and then found out she had this house and I just knew it was meant to be.
When I was at prison, I was trying to find a place. I was trying to get into a rehab at first. Everybody kept telling me, and it was like, well, you're pretty much in a rehab. So I went up to the chapel and I asked for transitional home, applications. They gave me a few. I didn't get one for Branch 15. I don't think they had any at the time. Some months later, I went back up there and just happened to have one. So they handed it to me and I filled it out. I sent in 3 applications and Branch 15 was the only one that responded back to me.
Kathy Peacock and Tammy Franklin had transitional houses. And my case manager in my program was in charge of the housing. They only allowed 2 women in that program. There was a bunch of girls that were doing really well, so we were running out of housing. And so I was like, why don't you just give me your cards, and I'll just pass them along. Never thought anything was ever going to happen. It was too far away for Salvation Army buses that transported us. And I didn't have a vehicle at the time. But as soon as they moved here, Tammy had called my case manager and she was like, we have room for Christy and we have her in mind. And so actually she sought me out. It was all the Lord, most definitely. There was a wonderful lady, and the name was Sharita, that saw me in front of the courthouse every day. I was there every day, Monday through Friday, handling or selling curbside. She fed me and the guys, and every once in a while, Subway. She'd bring us Subway cards because she would not give us money because she knew what we would do with it. And she asked me if I was tired of it because I stuck out. I told her I was. She had talked to a friend, and her and a friend had heard of Branch 15. They called Branch 15 and spoke with Tammy.
In prison, I got really involved with church. I found God and gained a new relationship with Him. I was in a group called Genesis 1, and that's where I met Tammy. Also, I was in a group called Team. That's how I found out about Branch 15. It was from both places.
Well, you told me about it on the phone while I was in prison, and then I had actually met Tammy at a little barbecue that they had.
I was driving my reintegration officer at Cape Bernard insane because I had been accepted to a few places, but I didn't feel like it was right, and I didn't want to go back home to Tulsa. And she called me, and the very next day, Tammy and Stephanie came and interviewed me.
Through my BSF leader, Susan Esco, I'll never forget the day that she asked me, where are you going when you get out of prison? I said, I really don't know, but one thing I do know is I need to go to a faith-based transitional house. She said, I know the perfect place for you. And so the very next day I had an interview with Tammy and Stephanie, and I waited on that acceptance letter, and sure enough, God was faithful.
I was at First Step Treatment Center in Moore, and the director, Tammy, was the Women in Transition instructor, and I started taking class. Another lady, Christy, who's here at the program now, she comes up and she's like, I want you to go to this group with me, this meeting. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, it's Women in Transition. And I'm like, what is Women in Transition? She said, these 2 women, oh my gosh, Veronica, you just gotta go. They were in prison and they did a lot of time and they've got such wonderful stories, and it's they just teach you how to transition back into life and Christ. I worked at the cleaners, so it was very hot and I was very tired, and it was like the first Saturday I was going to get to sleep in, and I looked at her and I said, is it mandatory? Do I have to go? She's like, no, you don't have to go, but you're really going to enjoy it. You're really going to like it. And just, if you don't want to go, then you don't got to go, but I'm going to go. So I think you should get up and go too. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to sleep. So I lay there for a few minutes and I thought about it, and then I thought, I'm just going to go check out and see what these women have to say. They've been there. They obviously know what it's like. They know what life is like now, and I can go this one time, and if it's not something I'm interested in, I never have to go back. And I continued to go every Saturday for 7 months.
What are some of the things that you've learned since being here?
Just to trust in God. He's got complete control of everything.
I've learned how to be a woman in Christ. I've learned how to have fellowship with women in Christ. To be able to just have an identity.
I've learned how to be accountable for my actions. I've learned how to follow Christ. I've learned how to live with other people. I've learned to be more positive.
The most I've learned is that I am not as hopeless as I thought I was. I came here completely hopeless. I had no hope whatsoever. But I'm not as hopeless as I thought I was.
Healthy coping skills, good communication, the feel of community, God's grace mainly. That's a big one. It's God's grace. And just fellowship and love.
How to adjust to living a normal life, coming from the streets and the day hustle. It's better this way, more normal.
Compassion, grace, and just learning to live life.
That it's okay to ask for help.
I've learned how to accept life on life's terms. Doing it sober, it's a lot different. And paying the bills is all fine and dandy, but actually knowing who you are in Christ and being able to carry that on out with us is the biggest deal.
What's your favorite thing about being a part of Bridge 15?
Getting to know the girls and just kind of building friendships with them, because I've never really had any girlfriends. It's kind of nice to bond with them, have relationships with people, normal relationships.
I get to go to work every day, and that I get to look in the face of other people, and I get to smile. I get to tell them, thank you, come back, and I get to look at people who see something in me, that they don't look past me. They don't just, smug at me, and they don't just, frown, or they don't just, look at me like I'm a piece of gum at the bottom of their shoe anymore.
The fellowship, the devotion that the women have for each other, just the accountability.
Just the genuine warmth that everybody has, the care, the help. It's amazing.
The communion that we have with one another. We get to share the blessings that God's blessing us with, and the struggles. And it's all so real.
The fellowship, all the other girls, and Tammy, and how she makes us feel so at home and welcome and embraces us, shows us how to change, leads by example.
Women. We have such a good group, good community, the family. The environment, it's like a family atmosphere.
The fellowship, a prayer. You could just say, hey, you know what, I'm having a bad day. I just see someone, I need someone to pray with me. And we would all just stop and hold hands and pray.
What would you say to a woman that's looking for transitional living?
To not be ashamed or afraid to seek help, because there's help there and there's people willing to help.
Without God, without this being a faith-based home, I don't think I could do it. I wouldn't have the strength. I wouldn't know how to do it.
You do it. Take that opportunity. It'll change your life.
You should give it a try because it works. Coming into it, I didn't know what to expect, and it's just been amazing.
Branch 15 would be an amazing place to come to because you have all these wonderful women willing to guide you in the right direction. I really know where I was going, but when I came here, I just felt like this is where I really needed to be.
Coming to Branch 15, it should be a required step because I didn't know how I was going to do it. And everybody here has really helped me with that and reassured me that everything's going to be okay. If you feel kind of hopeless and like you don't know if everything's going to work out or if you're just going to go back to the same things or anything like that, but the girls here are a really good support system. If you feel like that was your old life, this is your new life.
Calm, because you are worth it. You can do it. You are worth it.
To check it out, to try it out. Don't give up because there's so many great ones, especially this one. Anyone that is faith-based that teaches you how to become closer with Christ, I would say give it a try.
What would you say your favorite memory has been since you've been here?
We had fellowship, and then afterwards, all the girls, we all went out to eat, and we just kind of bonded, and it was a really good time.
Be the graduation. Getting to see Sarah and Diane be able to actually succeed and get their kids back, get their own places, be successful, have careers that they never probably thought they could have, but always aspired to have. I think that's one of the best moments right there. Is getting to see the progress, get to see the way the Lord works.
These are the classes that we take here at Muddy Knots, SBO. I so enjoy SBO.
Watching one move out, watching them makes me feel like I can do it. And it was amazing just to watch her take those steps to get there.
Watching Veronica get baptized, that was very, it was amazing. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just really great to watch.
My family came from Colorado to visit me. It was my mom, my dad, and my brother and my son. We did mom and son things, daughter and sister things. We went to church together just to be in the presence of the Lord and to feel so welcome at our church. It was a beautiful moment.
Every day I wake up here, my life was so destructive before. And it's just giving me more hope. Like every day I wake up, it's something new, something to look forward to, something to be joyful about.
When we fellowship together, not on cue or anything. After Monday night's group, and we all will go out to eat, talking amongst each other, sharing, good news about the day and good times.
Being baptized, my family came from Dallas and all over Muskogee, and got to spend it with loved ones and family. It was my most definite favorite moment.